What's up, everybody? My name is Ray Taylor, and this is the early retirement vlog. And catch you guys up on a few things. First, at least in this episode, I want to recap a fight that happened. I did a little preview on this show before the fight happened, and now that it's over, of course, I'm talking about the Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor fight that happened August 26th. It's already September. We're a week into September already. And boy, are they fresh. You know what I'm saying? I can't even express how much that means to me. So Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather did their boxing match. And it was enjoyable. I didn't intend on being excited for it at all. Uh, but I was pleasantly surprised. We being myself and Keith, my roommate, co-host of the Inspired Disorder podcast, we ended up getting the pay-per-view. We were trying to get it, allegedly using a Fire Stick, which I haven't tried to get a sporting event in that way in a long time. Now with UFC events, I use Fight Pass, and there's some things you can do with Fight Pass and a VPN, which make it a lot nicer when you don't have cable. And then you can always get the pay-per-views on there. So we tried to get the we tried to watch it on the Fire Stick. Nothing was working. Seriously spent like 2 hours. Make sure that's recording. Spent like 2 hours trying to get it working from whenever the main card started. Because I didn't really care about I think 4 fights on the main card. Didn't really care. Only cared about the main event. So during the main card, it was trying to get that thing working. And the closer we got, and we saw just bits of 2 of the different fights. But the closer we got to the main event, we crumbled, man. Spent $50 each, and got it on Fight Pass barely. I still haven't looked at my bill to see if maybe I was double charged, but there was definitely some issues, which I'm sure everybody's heard about, where a lot of the services were down just prior to the main event. And if you look, like when we did watch the other fights, when they would show up for a minute or two, there was nobody in that fucking theater, man, or that stadium. T-Mobile Arena. It was just like the floor seats. There were some people there because they probably spent like $2 million a ticket. But then like the middle section was just empty and this was the main card. Now I'm used to watching UFC fights, MMA fights, things like that. I'm not big into boxing. I don't know if this is like a regular thing in boxing. I know typically undercards in boxing are pretty bullshit. Just, kind of zeitgeist of the sport. That the main event tends to be the only real entertaining fight in a lot of boxing matches. From what, a guy like me on the outside looking in, hearing people talk about boxing, that's what it seems to be. And this seemed to be the quintessential expression of how ridiculous that is, where it was ridiculous to see. Ridiculous as hell. And so much, the production value for Showtime Boxing, which put it on, was like so rinky dink. Like the studio setups, the filler content. Like I said, man, I watch UFC. I watch every single UFC event, and by that I mean pay-per-view. I mean Fight Pass cards, Fox cards, FS1. Every single UFC event, Not only do I watch the main card, I watch from the very first Fight Pass prelim fight to the main card. So every fight card I'm watching, anywhere from 10 to, I think the most was 14 fights on a card, which I think one of those fights pulled out. That was a crazy card. 14 fights. So I'm very used to the production of UFC, and it was a huge difference. It was a huge difference. Um, I mean, it was so like, it was just low end production value. Um, but yeah, it was crazy to see the crowd like that. It was crazy that there was like no filler, like no music, no screensavers, no cutting to like analysts to break down what like boxing matches that had happened. I don't know how many fights were on the total card, like prelims also. But let's just say there were just the four cards on the main card, four fights on the main card, right? And there's this big break before the main event because I guess they stalled because you know fucking there was a bunch of the Fight Pass servers went down, and I think the Showtime servers may have had issues too, but a lot of people were having problems getting the pay-per-view. So they delayed the main event because that's the only reason people were clearly buying. They're buying right before the main event. But they didn't have any filler. Like, even with UFC, like, you'll have commentary. There'll be at least a screensaver, right? If you're watching Fight Pass, you've seen it. Hit the mic. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's no screensaver, no music, no filler. And like one thing that's cool about UFC, they'll show fights. Like if you got time and there was a fast knockout earlier in the card, they'll replay that shit. You know? They'll give their fucking undercard guys some love, especially cuz it's like quick finishes and shit like that. Usually, like it's quick submission or quick knockout. But there was none of that. No filler, boring ass shit. So we got the card. Fight Pass finally loads up, and eventually the fight starts. Floyd Mayweather comes out looking like a homeless ninja. Is the dumbest fucking, like, I've seen a lot of crazy walkout shit too. All right, I've seen MMA fighters come out dressed like women and like geishas and shit. I've seen ridiculous shit. I saw Kumo. I think it was Kumo. Walk in carrying a giant wooden cross. So Floyd walking out like a homeless ninja just, I mean, I guess it fits. Like his snakeskin backpack. Like, dude's got a lot of money, spends it on fucking retarded shit. Stupid shit. Just dumb. Just dumb. Like, if you spend all your money on cars, smarter financial decision than whatever the fuck he was wearing into the ring that night. Homeless fucking ninja. Conor came out just wearing the flag, no gaudy robe. The Irish flag he came out walking with, and so the fight starts. Keith and I super excited. Don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just curious. My biggest curiosity is what is Conor gonna look like, fight style wise, because he's an MMA fighter. He has very much a karate stance when he fights in MMA. But you know, with boxing, what is he gonna change up? Is he gonna change up anything? And he did. He kind of came out with more of a sideways stance. He, you know, threw some good punches. You know, he was landing some good punches. Hit Floyd with a solid uppercut. You know, every time Floyd would get in distance, Conor would, like, you know, clinch up. But you could tell when he was clinching that, you know, he knows what he's doing when he clinches. It's not like you watch boxing, like, so after this we watched the earlier cards in the fight, And it had been a while since I've watched actual boxing. And like when you clinch up in boxing, a lot of the times it's just to rest. Like we're in too close, clinch up, don't get hit, and then let the ref separate you. It's really just not. There's no activity within the clinch itself. But then when Conor would get it, you could tell he was, trying to put pressure on the arms, trying to, break his posture to get him worn out more. And, while he was doing that, landing little rabbit punches. But, if it's a sport where they're adding up fucking punches, then he's fucking landing fucking punches, in the rule of this weird sports rules game thing. He was landing little rabbit punches. Some of them maybe hammer fist to the back of the head, but that shit happen. First off, that shit happens in the UFC with 4-ounce gloves on, and they're legit hammer punches. These were like little rabbit punches, kind of a thing. But I for sure, after the first round, Floyd like threw 6 punches. I don't think landed shit. Conor landed punches and made Floyd defensive for what I considered the first 3 rounds easy. Conor won. And this was while watching. So it's like, holy shit. Conor's won 3 rounds, right? Out of a 12-round fight. But starting off with 3 rounds. Looking pretty good. And then round 4 was a little bit closer. I still gave it to Conor. During the fights, up until the 5th round, I was still like, I thought Conor won the 5th round too. And then Floyd started turning it up. I think he started to turn it up in the 5th. And then the 6th and 7th, it was Floyd kind of changing things up and Conor being more defensive, having to grapple or having to clinch up more. And then I think Conor turned it up again in the 8th. Thought he won the 8th. And then the 9th round, he was pretty much gassed. He was looking like he did in the two Diaz fights, where I think that was the 3rd round. He would gas. He almost did the exact same thing in both fights. It may have been the 2nd round in the second fight. But he just gasses. Whether it's adrenaline dump or what, I don't know. I think I would love, like, if that's a mental thing that Conor has an issue with, like his cardio should be fucking on point, but for whatever reason he has a dump in the middle of a fight, in the middle of fights. He needs to fucking work with Wim Hof, man. Overeem was training with him. I'm sure there's other fighters that have trained with him, and like. Especially if it is a mental thing, like I just think it's like a no-brainer. It seems like the best like union between a fighter who's obsessed with being perfect and open-minded enough to try things like movement coaches and things like that. I could see if he fucking Conor and Wim Hof. I think that would put Conor mentally in a place where he's already in a place where he's far above and beyond everybody else, but I think that would give him the extra edge within a fight, to keep his composure and not get gassed out. But yeah, in the 10th round, Floyd was landing punches, walking him down. I think the ninth round, and then continued into the 10th. And I think it was like a minute and a half into the 10th, the ref stepped in, because Conor was gassed. Now, to hear, he was never rocked. He got hit with some punches, but he was never really rocked as far as like stanky leg. He was never dropped. He was just gassed. He looked like he looked in the 2 Diaz fights where he just has nothing left and he's just trying to recoup. And usually he comes back. The first Diaz fight, he got choked out. When he got gassed, he got desperate, tried to go for a double leg, ended up getting it, ended up basically giving up and getting his neck taken. Second round, he got gassed, weathered through it, came back, ended up making it a draw. Great fucking fight. This one, you know, it, it, it didn't seem like. I mean, the rounds are so short. 3 minutes rounds, so ridiculous. Um, he may have been able to survive to the bench and maybe recoup between rounds and come out a little fresher. Who knows? He never really landed a huge left hand like he did on Paulie in that video. But he did land. He did land some fucking solid punches, man. I thought he won. We rewatched the fights, um, and I thought for sure he won the first three rounds, maybe the fourth, and then maybe the eighth also. Um, but it was an exciting fight. I've never seen Floyd fight. And as far as how people describe his fights, this fight was not one of those descriptions. This was an exciting fight. Conor, after the fight, said he turned him into a Mexican, which everybody who likes to get butthurt about everything thought it was a racial thing. But there is a style of fight that comes from people from Mexico that is more aggressive and moving forward constantly. It's a very much of a warrior type of a style. It's very much the opposite of what people would consider Floyd Mayweather's style to be. It's not a very defensive style. It's very much let's move our way in as smart as possible and land hard punches. And that's what Floyd ended up doing in the ninth, and then finished it in the 10th. So it was an exciting fight. Was it worth $100? Fuck no. But it was history. I don't know. I think Cyborg wants to go into boxing, which I mean, it's any other MMA fighter. I think that's one that, I mean, she's just so fucking, like, tough as shit, and then, like, just doesn't give a fuck. So we'll see if that would be interesting to see. Yeah, I don't know. So we rewatched the other fights, and the first fight on the main card went to a decision. It was so fun. The most boring part of boxing is when it goes to a decision and it was a boring fight. Because decisions, 12 rounds, 10 rounds, takes like a fucking half hour of like no action. Half hour to 40, or an hour? I don't remember. Long, it felt like 3 hours. But it was boring as shit. Second fight was okay. The fight before it, weird stoppage. I mean, it didn't make me a boxing fan. I'm not like the Canelo Triple G card that's coming up. I'll watch the fucking replay of it on Facebook, but I'm not like, oh, I'm into boxing now. That didn't happen. Like, I watch EBI. Oh, I'm into jiu-jitsu. I'm watching jiu-jitsu tournaments now. But not with this shit, man. I'm not into boxing. I don't give a fuck. I mean, exciting boxing is exciting to watch. It's just boxing isn't always exciting. It can be boring, especially with just you're throwing two weapons. That's it. So overall, I'm glad it's over. It's interesting to see how deluded boxing fans are, especially ones that agree with the judges' scorecards. Only one of the judges gave Conor the first round. I think that's it. Like, none of them gave him the first three. I don't know. It was fucking ridiculous. Whatever the judges' scorecards were, they were ridiculous. It was, if it went to a decision and the fans heard that Conor like only won a round after watching him clearly win 3 rounds. Now, you can say all day that Floyd doesn't start fast in fights. He uses that to learn about his opponents. But the reality of that shit is, if the fight was over after the 3rd round, Floyd did nothing and got hit. So in my opinion of gauging a fight, he lost those 3 rounds. According to the judges, you can win fights. According to boxing judges, you can win fights without fighting. It's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing. I don't get it. Nothing about that impressed me. The production was boring. the fucking after seeing the ridiculousness of the scorecards, hearing fucking whiny ass bitches that complain in my comments about why Floyd is like so amazing and how stupid Conor is or whatever bullshit they're trying to say. I laugh. Thank you for watching. I say these inflammatory things. I respect boxing. I respect boxing than a lot more than a lot of boxing fans respect MMA. Because boxing is a legitimate part of MMA. It is one of the spokes of the wheel of MMA. You have boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. Those are fundamental things in MMA. Okay? So I respect those fundamental things. I don't give a fuck about Kung Fu. Kung Fu is bullshit. Tai Chi, there's nobody using Tai Chi, which I don't know if that's an actual martial art or just more of a meditative thing. Steven Seagal's not going to go win any fucking MMA fights. So I respect all the different parts of MMA, which I respect boxing, but the diluted nature of boxing fans, especially the ones that are ignorant to MMA, they've maybe seen a few fights, they think it's cage fighting, brutal, whatever, bullshit, blah, 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 and like boxing, because it's old, is some like magical martial art that defies all other martial arts and is supreme among every fighting style. Is that like the mentality of these deluded fucking people that get angry and leave fucking comments on YouTube? It's hilarious. It's hilarious. You guys are fucking deluded. The same way like the president is deluded, the same way there's just so much. People are living in such a deluded universe, a deluded existence. It's like, it's so weird. It's just like culturally, there's a cultural delusion. People think the earth is flat. Like, passionately believe the earth is flat. People passionately believe in fucking chemtrails. It's the time to just believe in whatever the fuck you want to believe in, and it doesn't matter if there's a shred of fucking proof. That's what these boxing fans are like. To listen to them talk, oh, Floyd, he's like, I don't know, I don't give a fuck. They're boring. Your sport is fucking fucked up. You have 20 organizations, a bunch of different belts. All their fucking records are padded bullshit. The reffing is bullshit. The fucking judging is bullshit. Like, there's nothing about the organization of professional boxing that gets me excited, except for watching some moments of interesting boxing. That's all I have. That's all I'm going to talk about. The Mayweather-McGregor recap. Overall, it was okay. I was really glad it was a month off. August was a month off of UFC. So we started back with a Fight Pass card, which was from Rotterdam, Netherlands. So we reviewed that on the Inspired Disorder podcast. And then tomorrow, I'm recording this on Friday, tomorrow is going to be UFC 215, which the main event, Mighty Mouse versus Ray Borg, pulled out. Ray Borg got sick or some shit. His nutritionist said it wasn't a weight issue because he has not made weight before, which is a title fight, so you have to be right on the money on weight. You can't be a pound over like you can normally. Which I find this whole situation to be fucking hilarious. Now, let me start with saying Demetrius Johnson, one of the most talented fighters, one of the most skillful fighters, seems like one of the nicest sweethearts. You know, he's very much like a GSP guy. His downfall didn't open up to the media till fucking recently, till like a year ago, started opening up to the media. So no personality, yet it's, oh, why aren't they marketing me? It's like, you understand that Ronda Rousey and Conor McGregor and John Jones are popular figures in that sport, not because UFC did more commercials for them. John Jones, controversial, person, came into the fucking division, destroying legends at a young age, youngest champion ever. Nobody could touch him. You know, aside from the decisions, like Gustafsson, probably his hardest fight. You know, and then the closest ever being finished was Vitor having him in armbar. But he's a character, open to the public from the get-go. And then all the controversy helps too. Ronda Rousey, first female fighter, super dominant. Very similar in a way to DJ, right? Both first in their division to have a belt. Ronda Rousey, bantamweight. Demetrius Johnson was that flyweight. Okay. Granted, Ronda Rousey, first female fighter to fight in the UFC. So there's that history. But both are the first in their divisions. Both in fairly, especially for their time, Ronda Rousey's division, very light division. A lot of the competitors are green. There's not a lot of experience. There's not a lot of hard competition. So you get a lot of fucking rematches after rematches. But Ronda was open to the fucking public. You know? She used what was happening historically and went out in the public and did all these things. And she's not fucking... Her personality isn't... Demetrius has a way better personality. Ronda's fucking flat. She reminds me of just a stoner chick that just kind of gets quiet. You know? She's fucking hot as shit. Can't act worth a damn, which is hilarious that she's, you know, gonna do wrestling or... I don't know what the fuck her life is gonna be, but... Horrible actress. If you watch her acting, it is some of the worst shit ever. That's what she's going to do now. She went from the elite to the fucking mediocrity. But Demetrius, you know, it's not... If you're an exciting person, then they can do a lot of stuff with you. Then it's easy for them to market you. Because you are a character. They don't create characters. You are a character. Donald Cerrone is a character. UFC doesn't make Donald Cerrone fucking ride bulls and skydive and fucking, you know, wakeboard and shit. He's a fucking crazy motherfucker, which makes him a character, which makes him easy to fucking promote. Oh, he's fun to watch too. By the way, shit he does inside the ring is amazing. Like DJ, he's amazing inside the ring, even though he's fighting pretty slim competition. But I think it's hilarious that this whole thing, there was this huge drama, DJ, right? This is where it's like, I'm tired of fucking fighters whining and crying. It seems like so many of them are just whining and crying, and like never before have I seen fighters like try and pick fights and like not want to do certain fights. It is insane how much this happens. And for DJ going in to break Anderson Silva's all-time belt defense record, which I think is like 12. He defended it 12 times. His record was a lot more. I think his undefeated record was like 16 or 17. But Demetrius is going in to break the belt record. And because he's going to do this, he publicly stated that he would not fight TJ Dillashaw, the former 135 champion, who was originally scheduled to fight Cody Garbrandt for the title. Cody's back got injured, had to pull out, so TJ was open for a fight. This was, you know, during the summer. Fucking this August. DJ was supposed to fight, but they couldn't get it done. TJ was going to drop down in weight and challenge him. By far, the most interesting matchup you could have. TJ has a little bit of a name. He's got some drama. He's put himself out there. He's been on the show. You know, he's done things. He's been active to try and build his own brand instead of relying on the UFC to market him and build his own brand. He's going to drop down and fight Demetrius, giving him his toughest competition, potentially his toughest competition in his attempt to break this record. DJ's like, I do not want to fight this man. Excuses. I think I should only be fighting people from my division. People that have fought their way up to fight me that deserve it. Okay. Although people change weight classes and get immediate belt chances all the time. Frankie Edgar, fucking, I think, didn't Cormier, wasn't his first fight against John Jones at light heavyweight? Maybe he had one fight before John Jones. But it does happen all the time. I think Kenny Florian had some belt chances by moving down weight. It happens all the time. So you can take that and you can throw it out the window because it's not just a new paradigm where like people are, you know, sticking in their thing. It's like it happens all the time. We just had Bisping had just fought Dan Henderson because that's what the fans wanted to see. If fans want to see a ridiculous matchup that doesn't really make sense for a belt, they'll make it happen. That DJ versus DJ would have been a perfect fuck. That would have been my most excited I would have ever been for a DJ fight. And this fight, pulled out. Ray Borg pulled out. Who, by the way, the other reason DJ didn't want to fight TJ, Demetrius versus Dillashaw. He didn't think Dillashaw hadn't fought at 135 or 125, so he didn't know if he would make the weight. Didn't know if he'd be able to make the weight. Which the motherfucker that he was fighting to fight is like, no, Ray Borg is the next in line. Ray Borg has missed weight, I believe, twice. He has issues making weight, which they made sure the weight was not the issue when he pulled out this last time. It was a virus. At least that's what they said. So I think it's hilarious that he forced UFC's hand to make this fight instead of the more compelling fight that would have sold better and helped his career more and given him some fucking actual challenge versus this kid. Ray Borg's young. He's looked good, but he's fucking missed weight. And that's one of your reasons why you want to fight this guy, because you don't think Dillashaw can make the weight. Whatever. Dillashaw is scheduled to fight Garbrandt, Madison Square Garden. So, you know, it's a win-win for him. DJ misses out on this fight that he pushed for and fought so hard for. Oh, my 12th ding. Here's the thing. I don't give a fuck about that record. If he fought Ray Borg and won it, which there's no reason why Ray Borg should win that fight. It's like, okay, congratulations. If Holly Holm didn't come around, you know, Ronda Rousey may have gotten close to that record. Oh, there's some solid fighters at 135 now, so that division's thicked up. Where the 125, it's just they're getting there. They're just young. They're green, man. Cejudo's green. Pettis is getting there. Little Pettis, that is. But anyway, I think it's annoying when people think the reason why they're not popular is because the UFC is not marketing them. It's like you can't like make people buy into something that's not exciting. It's like you can't force like let's take another sport. Let's take basketball. Like the people that become famous in basketball, like LeBron James, he's good at basketball. And he's exciting. You know, I mean, in there, they're all kind of in the thing. They don't have weight classes or whatever. And DJ's, you know, he just hasn't had competition. Like, if LeBron James was playing basketball in college or in, like, the European League and he's just destroying motherfuckers, like, it wouldn't mean anything. It wouldn't mean as much. Because he's not fighting tougher if they were tougher competition in his weight class, then his dominant performances would mean more. And would be exciting. Like John Jones, when he was having dominant performances, he was doing that against legends. He wasn't doing that against 205 now. Like, it would be easy for somebody, like, if John Jones was starting in light heavyweight right now, he would fucking murder everybody. Murder everybody. Because there wasn't the people that was around when he was doing it. There was some fucking legends. Anyway, so that's all my combat sports talk. Wasn't planning on talking about the Demetrius Johnson thing. That fight's happening tomorrow, so I don't know. The fights are probably going to be fun. Shevchenko versus Nunes is a good headliner. Hopefully that fight holds on. it'd be hilarious if they cancel a card if that fight gets pulled. Probably not a very strong pay-per-view, but one thing for sure, it's going to cost half as much as the fucking Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor bullshit. It's going to cost half as much as that. And from the very first fight to the very last fight is going to be excitement. You don't need big names to have exciting fights in UFC or in MMA. Anyway, that's it, everybody. This is the Early Retirement Show. Go to follow me on Twitter at Ray Taylor. Instagram, same thing, Ray Taylor. I've been doing a bunch of Photoshops for Ari Shafir, so check those out. It's been a lot of fun. I got a shout out on Joe Rogan Experience, episode 1007. Ari Shafir, Tom Segura, Burt Kreischer, Joe Rogan. Ari showing some love. Appreciate that. And everybody showing love online. Appreciate that as well. You can donate to Inspired Disorder. Help me keep doing not only this show, but the Inspired Disorder podcast, my artwork. So go there, patreon.com/Inspired Disorder, patreon.com/Inspired Disorder. Donate $1 if you want. It's $1 a month, $12 a year. Really easy peasy. Just start off with $1. If you want perks, which there are perks, you can donate more. Yeah. Patreon.com/Inspired Disorder. And if you are looking for artwork, new artwork is released daily over at InspiredDisorder.com. So go check that out. It's my ongoing ink on paper series called The Many Faces. There are close to, if not well over 200 now available. So get on that if you are looking to start collecting art, supporting me and decorating your home at the same time. I will do that. I will sell them to you. It's InspiredDisorder.com for all that. Links to everything. Thank you all for watching. This is Early Retirement. Have a great week. Oh, and if you haven't noticed, for the audio, that it's gone to once a week. I'm not doing the twice a week with the audio anymore. I kind of touched on that on a previous episode. Going to once a week, just make it easier so I can focus on making money and not becoming homeless. However, if enough people donate to Patreon, I'll do this thing daily. How about that? I'm out, people. Have a great week. Peace.